are now tuned in to Angela, but I call her Yee. Way up.
Way up. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and this is my good friend Jasmine, owner of the Jasmine brand.
Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Jasmine. How are you feeling today? We've been had a full day of recovery yesterday because I had a launch party for this show, Way Up with Angela Yee. It's only been on for a little over a month now.
Time is flying, right? Does it feel like a month or does it feel like longer?
It still feels pretty new, but it was real shaky when we first started. It was real. We didn't know what was going on. We were like, wait, are we in? We out? We were trying to get the groove right, trying to get the timing right.
Yeah. How do you feel, Angela, now?
It feels good. We launched syndicated in 39 different cities.
Can we talk about how major that is?
It is major.
You look uncomfortable. Angela looks so uncomfortable because we need to talk about what it is, this is a big deal. You get uncomfortable.
Yeah, maybe I have a hard time like celebrating things because people will let you know fast. You ain't all that.
39 markets.
Let me just mind my business.
39 markets is huge. Off the gate, Angela, let's just say
And Jasmine has been here since the first episode when we did practice episodes and everything, so I appreciate that.
No problem.
All right, and today is Thursday, so as we're establishing new things, Mastery of Comedy is something that we're going to do every Thursday.
Okay.
I'm a huge comedy fan, and there's been a lot happening in comedy recently.
Yeah, it's very relevant.
Chris Rock put out his special on Netflix that was live the first time they ever did a live special.
Yeah.
Also, Marlon Wayans put out his special on HBO Max.
We watched that the other day.
Yeah, we watched that the other day. I always try to keep up on those things.
Yeah.
I went to go see Donnell Rawlings last weekend. Mm-hmm. You know him as Ashy Larry, but you've been watching him on BMF, killing it in that role.
He's very versatile.
Yes, he is. Mm-hmm. And he'll definitely be up here one day as a guest co-host. Right now, we are trying out different guest co-hosts. So Godfrey's been up here guest co-hosting. And today, Just Pam is going to be our guest on Mastery of Comedy.
Perfect.
So we want to highlight different comedians. But right now, what we're doing is highlighting y'all with Shine a Light on them. I was very adamant about starting the show with something really upbeat and positive, where it's also very dependent on the listeners. You guys are a huge part of this show, Way Up with Angela Yee, so you get to call in and shine a light on somebody doing something positive. 800-292-5150. It could be a story you saw on the news, somebody you know in real life. It could be somebody you just met, but you just want to shine a light on somebody who you think is amazing. 800-292-5150. Call us up, make somebody's day, and shine a light on them when Way Up with Angela Yee.
We gon' light the block up. I'ma shine.
Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and I'm here with my friend Jasmine from the Jasmine brand.
It's Friday Eve. Happy Friday Eve, Angela.
Yes, I think I might like Thursdays better than Fridays because I like anticipation.
Yeah, I love Thursday. This is my favorite day of the week.
And this is also one of my favorite segments on the show, Shine a Light on them, where you get to shine a light on somebody who is doing something positive.
Yes.
And so today, Jasmine and I both decided that we wanted to shine a light on Tish, who's here doing our makeup.
Yes, we love her.
Now, Jasmine is a pain. Not only does she want that, she wants to get her baby hairs done.
Yes, Tish is doing my baby hairs. Not only my makeup, she's also doing my baby hairs.
Right.
And I've worked with her for years. You've worked with her for years. And she comes in when Keys isn't available. And I'm not a pain, but sometimes I could be a little challenging.
Yeah.
And she's
a pain.
Yeah, but whatever.
Cool.
And she's a mom, and she's an entrepreneur. She's a businesswoman, and she has a great spirit.
And she was in Trinidad for Carnival, and I need to make my way out there next year after watching her pictures and videos.
We got to diet first, because I want my body to look good.
Okay, yeah, you've got to get ready for that. But thank you so much for that, man. I know dealing with Jasmine's not easy.
Oh, my gosh.
And who do you want to shine a light on? 800-292-5150. Derek.
I want to shine a light on my baby princess for being so supportive to me and every single thing I do, down, up, down. She been there.
And you there for her just the same, right?
No doubt.
I love that. That's what we call mutual, reciprocity. All right, thank you. What's up, Chris? Who you want to shine a light on?
I want to shine a light on my wife this morning.
Okay. Go ahead.
First and foremost, I just, so much. But in 2020, she came down here to Atlanta. She had a dream. She started cosmetology school down here. Lasting Layers of Beauty Institute in Tucker, Georgia. It's doing amazing. And then last week we just found out that we're pregnant and she's having a baby, and I just want to shine a light on that.
Yay!
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I can't even get it out, but she's the most bravest, most beautiful, most compassionate, loving person I've ever known, and I'm just grateful to shine a light on her this
And
morning.
y'all about to be parents. That's so cute. Well, shine a light on both of you, but definitely shine a light on her.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Hey, Nancy, who you want to shine a light on?
To all the female workers who work in the man's industry. Because I actually had a guy say, oh, I'd rather deal with a guy than deal with a female. I'm like, really?
Wait, what happened?
Like, I work in a motorcycle dealership, and a guy said, oh, I'd rather deal with a guy than with a girl.
What?
I'm like, really? I said, I've been working here for like 20 years. I'm going to give you the same thing he's going to give you.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, really? I said, all right, whatever. I'm like, don't work for me.
What? Oh, man, we want to send some people your way.
Yeah, I work at a Yamaha in the Rochelle, so I've been working here for 10 years. I'm like, I know the same thing he knows. So I'm like...
All right, everybody go see Nancy at Yamaha New Rochelle.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I listen to you every day. I got you blasted on right now. My father's probably like, who the hell is this?
All right,
I got you guys on loud every day, every morning.
you make me want to go get a motorcycle.
Yeah, come and get one. I'll hook you up.
All right, well, I'm a little nervous about riding around a scooter in New York City. I don't even want to ride a bike unless I'm in the park.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so, but thank you for that. And again, that was Shine a Light on them, 800-292-5150. We're always taking your calls, so you can always leave a message and shine a light on somebody in case you couldn't get through, because we'll still hear it. And when we come back, we have Yeetie. We'll tell you who wants to not get memed anymore for being in an interracial relationship. I feel her on this, okay? People have real feelings. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Way up.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee, like they Angela Yee.
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee T. Way up.
All right, former NBA star Shawn Kemp was arrested. That's for a felony drive-by shooting charge. You know, he played 14 seasons in the NBA, and he was selected 17th overall in the draft in 1989. And according to reports, they're saying that there was a 53-year-old man who was booked for an alleged drive-by.
Okay.
Now, Shawn Kemp was booked on a drive-by shooting yesterday afternoon, so the middle name and age match those of Shawn Kemp. They're saying there was an altercation between the occupants of two cars that led to shots being fired in a parking lot.
Sheesh.
Yes, and so if he is convicted, he's facing up to 10 years in prison and or a fine of up to $20,000.
This is so random.
Right.
Yeah, it's wild.
Sounds like an argument
Went wrong. Went left.
wrong.
Yeah.
Ari Lennox says that she wishes she didn't have emotions.
Same girl. Same.
You feel the same way?
Yes.
Really? You would like to not have emotions?
Not when it comes to men, but everything else, I'd like to keep them.
She posted, have I made myself unattractive by wanting love so bad, by speaking about it, complaining about it? I wish I didn't crave it. I wish it didn't make me blind, weak, and so dangerously trusting. I wish I had no love inside of me. Wish I didn't have emotions. Wish I didn't care.
Oh, somebody done messed up Ari. Something happened recently, and she tweeted that. You know we're gonna get some good music off of it, though.
You know, when she was on Lip Service, we did talk about how she's been afraid to fall in love. If you guys recall, here's what she said.
I am scared to be in love. I'm scared to be hurt or cheated on. And, yeah.
Have you ever been cheated on?
You know, sometimes I wonder, but I've never had any proof or anything like that, or won't even make it long enough for him to start doing that, I guess.
I feel like sometimes people also self-sabotage. Like if you're in a situation and you're so scared to love somebody or trust somebody that you kind of drive people away too.
Yep.
So that can happen. But I do hope that Ari Lennox finds love. She's a really amazing person. Like she's really
sweet.
funny too.
She's funny, and she
seems like she'll be fun. But I don't know what people are like in their dating life.
Right, yeah.
So we never know.
Yeah, she's talented for sure too.
But I hope it does happen for her because she wants it to happen.
Yeah.
All right, now Logic, he recently paid homage to Ice Cube with It Was a Good Day. He did his own cover of it, and it was trending. And here's how it sounds.
And everything is alright. I got a beef from Kim, you know that she could rough all night. Called up the homies and I'm asking y'all, which courts y'all playing basketball?
I was over here bopping. You should see Angela's face.
You like that? Everybody's very divided on it, by the way.
Well, that is a classic song that he tried to cover.
But the funniest part was O'Shea Jackson Jr. I respect Logic. I think he can rap, and that's all I really need. But, bro, if I ever hear you sing about my mother again, it's going to be a misunderstanding because,
that's
funny
funny
about Kim.
Yeah.
All right, and Bill Gates' daughter, Phoebe Gates, is upset about being memed for being in an interracial relationship. She went public with her boyfriend, Robert Ross, back in May of 2022.
Okay.
They both go to Stanford. They're on each other's social media. And the comments, she said, can get really ugly because he's black.
Okay.
And so people say things like he's dating her for her money, for her status. So she posted on TikTok, it's 2023 and I'm done being mean for being in an interracial relationship. I can imagine that. And part of the reason why people care about her so much is she's Bill Gates' daughter.
Yeah, and who was caked up and people don't want her to be taken advantage of.
And she also said she's aware that most of the attention she's getting, whether negative or positive, is because of her last name. She said, I'm pretty realistic that people start following me because of my family name, and people probably find it funny to see my dad being a goof and playing. People have a lot of preconceptions about me, so TikTok has been a chance for me to tell my own story and also use the attention my family name might bring to spotlight issues that are important to me, like women's health and sustainable fashion.
Okay.
So at least she understands it and is positive about it.
Yep.
All right, well, that is your Yee Tea. And when we come back, it's time for About Last Night, where we'll talk about some things that happened last night, let y'all know what was going on in our lives, and you guys can chime in, usually, on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Last night. So, about last night. Last night. Here's how it went down.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here with me. You might know her website, The Jasmine Brand. It's a very popular entertainment site.
Oh, thanks, Angela.
And she's a rapper. But about last night, this is when we talk about what we did last night. Now, after, we also have a podcast called Lip Service. So film that. But we also were watching 90 Day Fiancé the other way. Y'all know I love that show.
Yeah, you had me. I did not watch it before you had me watching it faithfully, regularly.
But you were into it.
Yeah, it was really good last night.
I'm gonna be honest. Part of what I like about that show is a lot of places I've never been to. You get to see cultural things.
Yeah.
About it, even though some people might be like, "Oh, this is nonsense TV," but it does show you other countries and how people live and customs.
Yeah, it gives you insight.
All right. So in particular, one couple was interesting to me last night, and it was Nicole and Mahmoud. They're in Egypt, and they had tried to work things out at one point, and she ended up going back to California. She went to school for fashion, but when she went to Egypt, she has to be modest, covered up.
Yes.
At all times.
Which is different for that. Which would be
it's
a challenge.
It's an Arab country.
Yeah, it would be a challenge for, I think, the average person.
And she's homesick. She's far away from home.
Yes.
There's definitely a barrier culturally for her as well. There was an episode where she wanted to go to a cafe, but certain places only men are supposed to go to. But she wants to have the same rights that she has here in America.
Which she does not
have.
Yeah.
But she doesn't.
Right.
And so it's really been difficult for her. She's been crying, trying to make that adjustment. And so here is part of one of the episodes where she's struggling with that.
I wasn't nervous at all before I got here. Now I'm so nervous. I just want to leave, actually.
I am feeling very shy right now, but I don't even know what's even appropriate to ask because I don't want to offend anybody or cross any cultural boundaries.
I'm still worried that my time in Egypt will be isolating,
and I really need to find a way to be myself here because otherwise I need to leave.
And at one point she did leave, but then she ended up missing him coming back because they are married, by the way.
Yeah.
And the other thing is she's only allowed to hug her husband or touch him. She cannot hug any other man at all, period.
I think I'm okay with not hugging another man.
I know, but you can't even greet somebody
I know.
touch. I mean, it is, you know how we're used to just giving somebody a hug.
Yeah, embracing, when you see them, yeah.
And then also just knowing that you're just legally, whatever, not allowed to do something, and you're used to that your whole life.
Yeah, you know what did it for me? The bathroom scene where how she has, it's just different. The plumbing is even different.
She had to use a squeegee on the floor to clean the whole bathroom floor and sweep everything into the drain and all of that. But yeah, it's a lot for her.
Yeah.
And so my question was, after thinking about what Ari Lennox had to say about how she wishes she didn't have emotions, but she wants love so bad, right? Could you imagine being so in love with somebody that you would leave behind everything, go to another country, adopt different customs, maybe language barriers, leave behind your whole family because you are that in love with that person?
Wow.
So, like, imagine, have you ever been that in love with somebody? Could you imagine moving to Egypt like Nicole did on 90 Day Fiancé, leaving everybody behind because she is homesick,
right?
And then knowing that these other customs and cultures changing the way that you dress,
right?
Because
right.
you have to be covered up, you have to be modest,
right?
For the sake and the name of love, because they say love conquers all. Could you do that?
Yeah, no, I cannot. Absolutely not. It's not for me. Love can't conquer.
Even if it was your soulmate.
No, because I feel like he's got to be another one somewhere closer. I'm not going out of the country. Angela, what about you? Would you move out of the country for the love of your life?
That's a tough one. I mean, I have a nice job here. I'm way up with Angela Yee. If you would have asked me that previously, because I do like to spontaneously do things out of nowhere.
Yeah, but live in another country.
I know. All right, well, we want to see what you guys think. 800-292-5150. Have you ever done this, or would you, for the love of your life, leave behind everything and go and just adopt a whole new culture? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, 800-292-5150.
We're back with radio royalty, award-winning host and media personality, Angela Yee.
More Way Up with Angela Yee on now.
All right, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here with my girl Jasmine Brand.
Good morning.
Not just a brand, I'm a Jasmine Brand. And we are talking about last night. We were watching 90 Day Fiancé the other way.
Per your request.
I always watch that show, though.
Yeah, well, okay. Angela loves the show. Go
and
ahead.
You were in the room, and I saw you were very interested.
I got stuck.
All right, and Nicole and Mahmoud are a couple that's on there, and she was crying. She was upset because she moved to Egypt to be with him, but the culture is completely different.
Yes.
You know, she went to go eat at a restaurant. Usually only men can eat in the restaurant. They treated her strangely.
Right.
She can only touch, hug, whatever, her own husband.
Right.
They are married.
Yes, that's a lot. Even one of those things is a lot.
Yeah, because Jasmine, you're very touchy. You could just touch somebody's shoulder.
Oh my gosh! Yes, Angela, I am a little touchy.
But I'm just saying,
you can't
imagine
do that,
in a harmless way, you're trying to be like, hey, and then they're like, oh, you can't do that.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, it is a completely different thing. She has to be covered up, and she went to school for fashion.
She's fly too. If you've seen the episode,
she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's fly. She's fashionable. She beats her whole face. Like she has a cute little haircut.
And people were going in on her like, oh, well, you knew what it was, but I don't think you really understand until you do it.
Until you're in it.
And she's homesick, and so it's completely different for her.
Yeah.
So we're asking you, would you move across the world if it meant you could be with the love of your life? All right, so Superstar, would you move across the world for the love of your life?
No, it didn't happen yet.
He's open. He's very open to it then.
Even like a whole new culture, another language, everything?
Whole new culture, everything. Life is a trial. You must learn, man. You know, I would rather do that anyway, knowing from where I came from. I'm guessing it's better elsewhere.
Well, maybe not. I don't know if you've seen some of these episodes.
I haven't. Who was you referring to anyway? Because I didn't catch it.
We were talking about 90 Day Fiancé. It was a couple on there, and one of them, Nicole, she moved to Egypt, and it was a completely different culture for her. She has to be covered up at all times. She's not allowed to touch any other men except for her husband.
She's homesick.
Yeah, completely different.
Yeah, I would have one problem moving to these kind of countries because I love pork. So if they don't sell pork, I'm not going.
That's the only reason? So you would give up the love of your life for pork?
No, I mean, I'm going to be sneaking it in.
Oh, my God. Bye.
Thanks for sharing.
All right, so Linnell is on the line. And Linnell, you said you had a personal experience in your own family of your mom moving across the world to be with your dad.
My mom met my dad in the 70s. And both he was in the Moroccan military, she was in our military. She met him down in Louisiana. Fell in love. It was her first love, and she moved to Morocco, not knowing a thing about the country. And she actually, when she flew over there in like go-go boots and short mini skirt, which was the outfits of the time. And at the time, the runway was dirt. And she said, I literally thought I went back in time. And she tried to become accustomed to, their ways. But his mom, they didn't like her for being white. And they do prearranged marriages over there. Right. So they weren't accepting so much. And she had to learn the language, the country. And she would never give up her citizenship. And he wanted her to become Muslim. And my dad's still over there.
Oh, wow.
So it doesn't sound like it worked out too well. Would you try it?
No, just because of what I've heard. It's, when you're not raised that way and it's so much to get used to, it makes the relationship so much harder because her family wasn't accepting of him and vice versa.
Tough. Yeah, that is.
So, and even things like birth control, you're not allowed to use over there. So they confiscated all our birth control. So, you know, the men make all the choices over there.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
well, thank you for calling. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem. Have a great day, guys.
You too. Hey, Nicole.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Now share with us what you have going on. Would you move across the world to be with the love of your life?
Oh, man, I don't know if I would actually move across, but maybe. But my situation is that he's moving here to me in New York.
And where's he moving from?
He's from India. India. And it's been like absolutely amazing. We've known each other for like 6 years. Online, we met, you know, through.
Okay, so you wouldn't have moved there, but he agreed to move to the U.S.
Well, he asked me to move there, and of course, I had, you know, very detailed questions about a black woman moving to India. Like, how is it out there? Because it is my experiences with Indian men in America is different with black women. I have found.
Okay.
So, you know, but he was like, no, it's fine. You know, of course he said it's fine because he would want me to come there. He's the person that he is. He doesn't have those kind of, you know, issues. But he said, yes, there are people of other cultures there, but I and my family, they would rather him come here, of course.
Right. That makes sense.
Well, I'm glad he agreed to it. Yeah. I'm glad he agreed to that and that you guys worked it out.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'm so excited.
Well, good luck.
Okay, I'm happy for you. 6 years in the making.
That's right.
Yes. Thank you so much. Wish me well.
Oh, we are. I'm definitely wishing you well.
Yes.
You sound happy.
I am.
Thank
really
you.
Happy. So, yeah. Okay, thank you. Have a good one.
You too. All right, well, that was from about last night. We were asking, would you move across the world, experience a whole new language, culture, whatever, for the love of your life? Some people said yes, but they want to eat pork still. And when we come back, we have Yeetie with Monique. We'll be talking about her exclusive sit-down with the Hollywood Reporter.
Angela's spilling that Yeetie.
All right, it's way up with Angela Yee, and it's time for Yeetie with the Jasmine brand.
Good morning.
Your name is Jasmine, but I call you the Jasmine brand because you have an entertainment site.
Yes, I do. I don't know why you keep saying the in front of my name, Angela.
Because that's the site.
Yeah, but I'm a person, right? I'm Angela.
You're not just
any brand. I'm my own brand.
Yes.
Okay.
Can't wait till we Jasmine brand.
Can't wait till we get that drop.
All right. Well, Tyrese was on with Sway, and he was just talking about a lot of different things that happened to him. He had a bad reaction to depression medication at that time. Remember, he was saying Will Smith gave him $5 million. He was going through a lot of stuff.
Right.
So here's what he had to say about that.
For 3-4 months and not even knowing it was out there, I did not know the video was out there. Wow. I was gone. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I've never been high in my life. So for someone who doesn't use drugs, you put some like Rexulti in my system, it's going to have the worst adverse effects ever. So I'm online talking about Will Smith giving me $5 million. I never talked to Will Smith. And I still haven't recovered from the damage that I did to him and his family. Everything that was happening, I was out of my mind.
He also said he hasn't recovered from falsely announcing that his estranged wife, Samantha Lee, was pregnant with their second child. He said he was out of his mind from taking this medication.
Yeah. Can you imagine being Will Smith and being at home and hearing Tyrese said you was going to give him $5 million?
Right. And they got all these calls.
Right.
And then he's talking about the video. What more do you want from me? He didn't even know that video was out there.
It's not funny, but...
What? I mean, he doesn't take any drugs at all. So imagine taking this medication, and you never know how medication is going to affect you.
Listen, full disclosure, I take medication for anxiety and depression, and I have to be monitored with my doctor. And sometimes Angela will say, Jasmine, did you take your medication? Like,
I can tell by your mood whether or not.
Yeah, so, you know.
Right, so.
It's serious.
It is.
Yeah.
And I know people were making fun of him and memeing it and everything, but I'm sure that wasn't an easy time period. And now he's
opening up about it.
Opening up, yes. Rexulti is the drug he was talking about.
Okay.
All right. And the Strength of a Woman Festival and Summit is happening yet again. And that's going to be at Atlanta State Farm Arena from May 11th to the 14th.
Okay. That looks like a great lineup.
Oh, and by the way, lip service will be on that lineup, but let's talk about it all.
Okay.
All right, it's Mary J. Blige, Jeezy, Busta Rhymes, Method Man, Jadakiss, DJ Drama and Friends, and Jodeci on Friday night.
Jodeci.
Then Saturday night, Miss Lauryn Hill, Lucky Day, Money Long, Coco Jones, Summer Walker. Then the Strength of a Woman Summit, and that's going to be Earn Your Leisure. Those are my guys.
Yep.
They were at the Way Up with Angela Yee.
They were.
Launch party. Lip Service, Don't Call Me White Girl. That's my girl, Damona.
She's so funny.
And many more. Also, Robert Glasper. There's going to be an evening with Robert Glasper. The Sunday Service Collective, a gospel brunch. Then there's a Purpose Ball with Saucy Santana, hosted by Miss Lawrence.
Oh, wow.
And a comedy night with Mike Epps.
This is a great kind of lineup. Like,
yes.
It's well
And this
it's
is only their
well-rounded.
second one. I was at the first one also.
Okay, how was the first one?
It was good.
Okay.
And we did a lot at the Gathering Spot for the first one. So shout out to the Gathering Spot.
They had me at Jodeci, but continue.
Okay. Out of everything, and that's a big deal, but that's funny that was the one thing you were like, Jodeci.
Jodeci. Good
Yeah,
night.
so
I
you
can't
guys can
wait.
make sure you go ahead and get those pre-sale tickets and everything.
Okay.
All right, Tiger Woods is getting really messy with his ex-girlfriend, Erica Herman. Now she's accusing him of tricking her into leaving his mansion in Florida. He said they were going on a short vacation, and then he locked her out.
Oh my gosh.
According to these new court documents. She's trying to get that NDA that she signed back in 2017 tossed out. And so their legal fight started in October, where she filed a landlord complaint last year alleging that he kicked her out of his home using trickery and then repeatedly refused to let her back in. And they told her to pack a suitcase for a short vacation. When she got to the airport, they told her she'd been locked out of her residence.
Can you imagine?
No.
Oh my goodness. That's
I
not
cannot imagine.
Again, this isn't funny, but it's just, I'm just
He
imagining.
did pay for a hotel room and expenses for a short period of time, but she says he frightened her away from returning to the property. I don't know what type of case you have here, because
The thing is, we don't know because she can't really say much. So I wonder what she really wants to say.
we just see these court documents. She said they had an oral agreement that she could live at the mansion for 11 years, and she still had 5 years left. All right, well, that is your Yeetie. We'll keep you updated when we come back. Under the Radar. Y'all are going to love this Under the Radar story on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Going way up, with Angela Yee.
This is the part of the show where we do Under the Radar stories. These are stories that are not necessarily headline news, but we feel like you should know about them. This one y'all are going to like.
I love this one.
All right. So they did a pilot program in the UK where companies actually said that they were going to do a 4-day work week. So right now, there's a bill in the House that's being introduced that would make the 32-hour work week a national standard and lower the threshold for overtime compensation for most employees. So, overtime is usually after 40 hours.
Right.
So 32 hours would be the standard. So anything over 32 hours would be considered overtime.
Okay.
All right, so they had a previous iteration of this bill. It did not get a hearing in the committee last year and could have a tough path because of the Republicans. But a Democrat in California, Mark Takano, is the person who reintroduced this bill. So workers across the nation are collectively reimagining their relationship to labor, and our laws need to follow suit, he said. We have before us the opportunity to make common sense changes to work standards passed down from a different era.
Okay.
So what do you think about this 4-hour work week, 4-day work week with 32 hours
I think it's
as a standard?
I think it sounds great, but I will say as an entrepreneur and as someone who has a business, this would affect me in a different kind of way. You know what I mean? So
right.
I think we
as a business owner,
it affects us, and it affects me, and affect your business owner too. It affects us in a different way. So I think it's cool that people can work less and spend more time doing other things. I know that it's going to affect businesses like myself and yours.
But things have been a lot different also because of the pandemic.
Yes.
People are not trying to go back into the offices.
Yeah.
People are reimagining what it could be like. I feel like right now employees have a lot of say-so in what's going on.
Yep.
As far as the benefits of a shorter work week, Mark Takano said, we've undergone tremendous technological change over the past few decades, which has created more productive workers, but that productivity has not translated into better working conditions or hours in terms of the time that people have to themselves as a society. We can definitely make these decisions to change that work-life balance and improve that work-life balance so that health and happiness can all be increased without reducing how productive we are.
Right.
Now, what's the biggest barrier to this, would you say?
Tell me.
How do we make sure we move to lesser hours but not less compensation? How is that going to work?
Right.
So, because people might be like, well, we're only going to pay you for 32 hours because we don't want to have to pay overtime. So how do you equate that? So,
and that's my concern as, as a business owner.
But then you could also give people a salary, I guess.
Yeah.
And salary is not hourly. So
it's not. Yeah, it's not.
All right. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, now this story just appeared in USA Today as part of their opinion voices that they're doing. But this is a story from last year. And I just thought this was interesting because this is all about a woman. Her name is Lily Simon.
Okay.
And she was filmed on the subway in New York City without her knowledge. And then it ended up on TikTok. So she has a condition that she was born with.
Right.
It's neurofibromatosis type 1. It causes tumors to grow on her nerve endings. It's not contagious, but it has caused her a lot of mental and physical pain. She's been trying to hide it since she was diagnosed at age 8.
Right.
But on the TikTok, this guy filmed her and put a little monkey emoji trying to imply that she has monkeypox. Right. And here's what she had to say, because from that, it went viral.
Right.
And so she found the strength in being able to address it and let people know about her condition. Here's what she said in response to that TikTok.
I will not let any of y'all reverse the years of therapy and healing that I had to endure to deal with the condition and, of course, to exist around people like you.
All right, so this all brings to mind the idea of bullying, filming somebody without their consent, trying to make fun of them. You don't know what's going on in their lives. She's had a lot of trauma from this. She tried to suppress it throughout her life, but she said she did find healing in being able to address it and somehow become an advocate for other neurofibromatosis patients. And I thought that was a positive that came out of it.
Yeah. And she's been going through this since she was 8. Can you imagine going through that? It's whack. Filming somebody without their consent or not knowing, that's whack.
With malicious intentions.
Super whack.
Yeah.
Super whack.
So just wanted to put that out there for a couple of our under the radar stories.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
No.
Way up with Angela Yee. So we have a 4-day work week.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the TikTok story. Okay.
All right. Well, those are your under the radar stories that aren't necessarily headline news, but we're keeping our eye on them and letting you guys know things that you should be talking about. And we do have the Way Up mix coming up at the top of the hour. Also, Mastery of Comedy is today, and the comedian we are featuring is my girl, Just Pam. You guys are going to love her. She's hilarious. She's amazing. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Way up.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee, like they Angela Yee.
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee T. Way up.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and my girl Jasmine Brand is here with me.
I'm here.
You know her from the JasmineBrand.com, her own entertainment site.
Yes.
And this is why she loves this segment. All right, so let's talk about Michael Irvin, because we discussed this previously. A few weeks ago, he was accused of misconduct while working the Super Bowl in Arizona. According to reports, he was speaking to a woman at the Marriott, and she accused him of misconduct. Now, we don't know exactly what happened.
Right.
But he has since filed a significant lawsuit against his accuser and to the Marriott, where the alleged incident took place. His lawyers were also able to win a motion to have the Marriott give them the footage of this alleged incident. And so they believe that it proves his innocence.
Okay.
All right. So Michael Irvin did have a press conference, and he had the floor to speak on the matter. Here's what he said.
I always try to be good with people. You know, I'm struggling now saying, do I not talk to people? What do I do? You know, because of this kind of a situation, I know I didn't do anything wrong, and I was trying to do everything right. Had I not said to these guys, you know what, you cool guys, let's go outside and take that picture, then they wouldn't have been right there with me. And that would have been a moment that I've had alone, and I know nobody's going to listen to what I say. So, you know, I just got emotional thinking about it because I'm struggling with that.
Imagine that, right? Because now this footage is not public,
right?
But it was the two, him and the woman,
Right.
cordial, shaking hands at the beginning and at the end of the exchange. And so he's confused about what happened, but he was not able to work the Super Bowl.
I know, that's a big deal. That's a big loss in terms of money, too. I'm just wondering what is on this footage. Can we please see this footage?
It looks like, I mean, from what they're saying, maybe not much.
Right.
And what even really hurts more is the fact that he felt like no one would have taken him seriously if...
Yep.
What if there was no footage and somebody just accuses you of something?
Right.
Then it's just your word against theirs, no matter what you say.
Well, we need to see this footage.
Okay. All right, now let's talk about Monique. She did a sit down with the Hollywood Reporter, and she talks about a lot of different things.
Okay.
In this sit down. I don't know if you had a chance to really take a look at it, but I read the whole article.
Yes, of course you did.
And she said she's happier than she's been in a while. She said, I'm grateful for that feeling. When you are good on the inside, I believe it shows up on the outside. It's a new chapter because my babies are graduating high school. It's a new chapter because my grandson will be going to kindergarten next year and my granddaughter to the 5th grade. Those things for me are the priority. Also, she has My Name is Monique, her Netflix special that is coming out. She also stars in The Reading, which is a horror movie that's streaming on BET Plus, which I watched.
Yes, of course you did.
And she also, of course, plays Goldie in BMF. If you saw the scenes with her, they're pretty good. Too.
I saw little clips.
Yeah, so she's back. And if you guys recall, there was just a lot of things and a lot of back and forth happening. And so this is really special for her to have her own Netflix comedy stand-up special debuting on April 4th.
Monique is back.
And she said, when you walk away from this one, you'll say, now we understand that woman. She also talks about Lee Daniels and how the two of them ended up mending things and patching things up. They had a 13-year feud, and she is ready to put all of that behind her.
I love it.
Remember, she said that she felt like he had blackballed her and that he was telling people that she was really difficult to work with.
Right.
Well, finally, he did issue her a public apology in 2022 during a comedy show in Staten Island. They finally buried the hatchet and even have worked together.
Okay. Sidebar, I didn't know Monique was a grandmother. Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
All right.
All right. Now, former NBA star Shawn Kemp, we talked about this, how he was arrested on a felony drive-by shooting charge. Well, there is now an update.
Okay.
According to sources close to Shawn Kemp, they said he had his property stolen from his car, tracked his iPhone to Tacoma.
Okay.
And when he approached the vehicle to that car, a suspect shot at him and he fired back in self-defense.
Okay, that sounds a little bit... That sounds more reasonable.
Things aren't always what they seem, right?
We
would have heard that headline and thought that he just did a random drive-by shooting. What happened to Shawn Kemp? Well, it turns out there's a lot more to that story.
Okay. Well, Angela, it was a wild story, so...
I know. I was like, what? Why would he do that?
Right.
But, people love to believe a headline like that.
I know I do.
All right. And Bishop Lamar Whitehead, you guys know Bishop Lamar Whitehead from having been robbed at gunpoint.
Right.
And claiming that there was more than $1 million in jewelry stolen from him in front of his congregation. Well, now he's being accused of even more. They're saying that he faked bank records to finance his mansion in New Jersey. So according to the feds, he made up these balances, and they said he had an average balance of more than $2 million, but it was actually less than $10 in the bank. Yes, and also they're saying that he also did get a fraudulent business loan using the LLC for that account.
This is a lot. I feel like I'm watching a show.
Yes, and so I'm sure there's a lot of things that he wants to say.
Yeah, you know him. He was at your party, Angela. He
did show up to my Way Up with Angela Yee launch party 2 days ago.
Yeah, he was there.
And I know he's been wanting to speak out. We've seen him do a few different interviews previously.
Right.
His attorney, Don Florio, said that they're going to be fighting these allegations, and he's pleading not guilty when he is arraigned on the indictment, and that he denies those charges. But he does face a lot of time in prison if he is convicted on all counts. Extortion charges. They said he promised to use his influence to get favorable actions from the city and real estate deals, allegedly. So we will see. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I think he's going to call in and maybe come by. So that was your Yee Tea.
I want to hear from him. So great.
Way
Up. We see you, Queen. Taking over the world one day at a time. We going way up for the ladies with Angela Yee.
Yes. What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's Women's History Month. I'm here with a woman. Jasmine Brand.
I'm here with a woman too, Angela Yee.
We're not just friends, but we also both work in the entertainment business.
Yes.
And we're celebrating Women's History Month. So first and foremost, we want to talk about Gabrielle Union.
Okay.
And her hair care brand, Flawless, which I have used, by the way. I have some of those products.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I use the gel. And then there's also a straightening product that you can put in your hair. But she also wants to see small businesses thrive. And that's also my passion.
Yeah.
All right. So while she's doing that, she has launched her first ever grant initiative for Black women-owned businesses, Black women-owned brands in the fashion and beauty space.
Okay.
She told People, when people have great ideas, People as in People magazine. She said, when people have great ideas, you want that to be rewarded, and so often it's just not. We want to learn exactly how best to be as impactful, not only to the business, but the community. And that initiative just kicked off on International Women's Day, which was yesterday, by the way.
Yep.
So if you want to apply for this, if you have a skincare, hair accessory, or fashion brand, you can submit a video and presentation that will be evaluated by a carefully curated panel of judges. And out of the 6 finalists, you'll be chosen to participate in a pitch event.
Okay.
That'll be on May 10th, and then 3 of them will be rewarded with $25,000 each and mentorship sessions hosted by LinkedIn.
Oh, I like that.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Larry Sims, the co-founder of this initiative with her. He's a celebrity hairstylist, and he does amazing work.
Yes, I love the fact that they're doing this because one of the biggest obstacles we all know when you have a business is capital and finances. And $25,000 can do a lot, plus the exposure that you'll get, plus the LinkedIn online, plus the LinkedIn coaching that you'll be able to get.
Yeah. Like you said, that exposure has got to be amazing, too, for this.
And some money. Okay? Because let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right. Another person that we want to highlight is Mildred Loving.
Okay.
All right. It is a love story of Richard and Mildred that resulted in the landmark Supreme Court case that wiped away the last segregation laws in America. So this couple in 1958, they were in Virginia and they were jolted out of their bed in the middle of the night. They were arrested by the police in Virginia because they violated the Racial Integrity Act of 1924. That act forbid interracial marriage.
That's crazy.
That's not that long ago, by the way.
I know.
All right, so they were married legally in D.C.
Okay.
But in the state of Virginia, which is where they live, because they actually were in Virginia, then they moved to D.C., but then they came back to Virginia because they said D.C. never really felt like home.
Okay.
It was one of more than 20 states that made marriage between the races a crime.
Okay.
So they were able to flee the state to avoid prison time. If they would have stayed there, they would have went to jail, but they had to stay away from Virginia for 25 years in order for them to stay married. And they did end up feeling empowered by the civil rights movement. They got some help from the ACLU, and their case eventually went to the Supreme Court, and the judges then unanimously ruled in favor of Richard and Mildred Loving that the freedom to marry has long been recognized as one of the vital personal rights essential to the orderly pursuit of happiness by free men. That led to the overturning of similar statutes in more than a dozen states and marked the end of segregation laws in America. But they just wanted to be able to love each other, and they were able to take this to the Supreme Court.
And just for clarification, her husband Richard was white and she was
she's black. Yes.
Yeah, she was African American and Native American. Yep.
And I just also want to bring this to our attention right now because those laws are still being attacked, just being able to marry who you want to marry.
That's
so
wild.
we see that happening even now. So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're always bringing attention to these things.
And they had a movie. They had a movie based off of their story too.
All right, sounds like a good watch. Imagine that 1958 being woken up out of bed by the police
for nothing,
for being married. All right, and that is your Women's History Month. So shout out to these amazing women.
Yes.
And we still have a lot going on today. Now, I was telling you guys about Bishop Lamar Whitehead and what he's in the news for yet again.
What he's now facing.
And they're saying that he forged these documents in order to get a loan to buy this mansion in New Jersey. Well, he's on the line, and he has a couple of things that he wants to say, so we'll talk to him. Also, Just PM. It is Mastery of Comedy on Thursdays, where we'll be highlighting comedians. You know I love a good laugh.
You do.
I always say a comedy club is a perfect date night. We'll be talking to Just Pam about her career and have some fun with her. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yeah, she back at it. Bring in the Mac. Way Up with Angela Yee is on.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here with the Jasmine Brand.
Happy Thursday.
It's Jasmine Brand. All right, and one thing I wanted to talk about, we discussed this earlier, Bishop Lamar Whitehead.
Okay.
Now he's back in the news. Federal investigators are saying that he forged papers to get a $1.3 million mortgage for his home, his mansion in New Jersey.
Okay.
Now, he also is well known. You guys saw the video that went viral where he was robbed while live streaming during a sermon in July last year.
That clip went crazy.
It definitely did. And he also said that he had $1 million worth of jewelry on. So people had a lot of things to say about that.
That's a little odd, I will say.
They also talk about the way that he dresses and the
Okay.
designer clothes that he wears.
Okay.
And then there were other allegations against him where one of the members of his congregation said that he ripped them off too for $90,000.
Okay.
All right. So he has a lot going on right now.
Yeah, he does.
And he definitely hit me up. He actually showed up to Angela Yee Day. And then he also did come to the Way Up with Angela Yee launch party.
Yep, he did. He supports you.
Yeah, that was a couple of days ago. I actually met him. He gave me
proclamation.
A proclamation, at his church. And that's something he's done with a lot of different people in the community.
Yeah.
And then I also, during the pandemic, our now Mayor Eric Adams, he was at the time, he was the Brooklyn Borough president, had a march, and the two of them did like a peace walk.
I remember that. I was there with you.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
And so it was a nice thing.
Yeah, it was.
And the community came out, marched together. I think 5-Year Foreign was there.
He was there, yep.
Yeah, so there's things that he does in the community that's great. But then we see all these different things. We saw him doing interviews.
Yeah.
And
he was going off one day on Instagram Live on somebody.
Yeah, he did the interview with Larry Reed. He didn't enjoy that interview, it seems like. But he does want to, I think, come up here. He's been wanting to talk more about what's going on.
Because it's a lot of allegations.
All right, well, here, let's get him on the phone. Let's see if we can get him.
Okay.
All right, ready? Bishop Lamar Whitehead?
How you doing, Angela?
I'm doing fine. It's me and Jasmine Brand, and we saw you in the headlines again.
Yeah. I'm always in the headlines, huh?
So these allegations are that you faked bank records to finance your New Jersey mansion, according to the feds.
All right, Angela. So, you know what? I'm coming up here tomorrow. Let's talk about everything.
You're going to come up and address all of this?
In person.
Yeah, that's right. I'm coming up, and I'm going to be able to address what I'm able to address. Angela's been my sis for a long time, and why not give her the first exclusive of what's really going on out here?
All right, so Bishop Lamar Whitehead is going to come up here tomorrow to clear up what he can clear up.
Okay.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Thank you for giving us this exclusive.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being who you are, Angela, and I've seen some things out there with you, and I support you 1,000%. Just know that.
All right, well, thank you. I
All right.
appreciate it, and we're looking forward to it.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, because we do have some questions, Bishop Whitehead.
Hey, I ain't afraid. 10 toes down. I'm not afraid.
No, that's right.
All right, cool. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
All right.
10 toes down, baby.
Yeah.
And if y'all have any questions, definitely send them in, because I'll make sure we ask him, because he has no problem talking about anything. I guess Bishop Lamar Whitehead is going to come through tomorrow.
Yeah. Tweet your questions, too.
Right. We would love that. Also, Just Pam, she's coming up now. She's a comedian. It's Mastery of Comedy. We're going to do that every single Thursday, highlighting amazing comedians who I love. You know, that's one of my favorite things to do, watch comedy specials. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Angela Yee is way up.
On the way up.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and I have a really special guest, a friend of mine. Just Pam is here.
Hey.
Just Pam is a comedian, and y'all know I am the biggest comedy fan. I actually had done this whole thing called Mastery of Comedy, which is why this is called Mastery of Comedy. And right now, we're talking to Just Pam just about her career, what she has going on, also getting to know your personality. You've done lip service with us before also.
Yes.
So let's talk about the Just Pam story.
Okay.
All right. So you're from Jersey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Born and raised in Jersey. You know, my life is boring. Yeah, I got nothing exciting.
No, that's not true. And you know what about you that I've noticed, right? Because you do put female comedian on there instead of just straight comedian.
Yeah.
But you hang with the guys a lot.
I do. I do. When I'm out with the Plastic Cup Boys, I'm normally the only female. That's always fun and exciting. You know, they always treat me like the baby sister of the group, but it's just an amazing experience, you know, to be able to be out there with them. And then, you know, everybody's expecting the Plastic Cup Boys, and then here comes this female out there, you know, and I get a lot of love.
So the Plastic Cup Boys, for people who don't know,
that is Kevin Hart's group, Kevin Hart and the Plastic Cup Boys. So when they're on tour with Kevin, I work at McDonald's on fries. But when they're not on tour with Kevin, they have their own tour that they do. So when they're on tour alone, then I'm with them. So
and they have a special on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Yep, because I watched that.
I'm laughing my mask off. So yeah.
Now tell me how you even hooked up with them.
Naeem Lynn from Plastic Cup Boys is actually a childhood friend of mine. Okay. Naeem is going to kill me for telling this story, but he knows this is my story. So when I was like 5, Naeem used to live across the street from my grandmother. And I used to go play with him, and he had this little yellow bouncy horse.
Was he grumpy back then too?
He was not grumpy.
Okay.
So he had this little yellow bouncy horse, and I used to go play with the horse, and he used to always get on the back of my horse. So in my mind, we went together in my mind.
I'm trying to visualize Naeem on the back of
my bouncy horse.
Right.
He know I never let this story go. But literally, we're just childhood friends. And, you know, he went off to college and became a comedian. And, you know, I was just out here, you know, working a regular job and stuff. And then, you know, finally I was like, I'm gonna try it. And I reached out to him first and was like, you know, what do you think of this? And he was like, just try it, you know, do it. And I tried it one time and it was pretty addictive, and I was actually pretty good at it, and I just kept going.
So tell me about that first time, because I've seen some people in their first ever sets previously, and some people feel like they can just do it. Like, okay, I'm funny, let me just get on stage. What was your first time like?
My first time wasn't even that bad. It was actually pretty good. I think I did like 12, 13 minutes.
That's a long time.
Who are you telling?
That's like 4 rounds in boxing.
Yes.
That's a long time.
I did like 12, 13 minutes, and it was like awesome. And when I got off stage, there was somebody there who saw me and was like, I got a show coming up and I want you on it.
Wow.
And it never stopped from that moment.
What'd you do to prepare for that?
Literally, it was the day before. I called somebody and was like, hey, if you wanted to be a comedian, what do you do? How does this work? And he was like, meet me at this spot tomorrow at 8. Mm-hmm. And I showed up at the spot. I didn't have no set. I had nothing. I didn't know what I was doing.
That's bold.
Yes, the day before. And it was literally just off of me asking him, like, what if? And this is my what if.
Do you remember some of the things you talked about on stage and how you figured it out? And what do you think when you see it?
Oh my God. I hate to watch myself on video. I don't know. But I look back at it and it's crazy because some of the stuff I actually took it and put it into bigger jokes that are some of my best jokes right now.
Right now, we are in the middle of Mastery of Comedy. We have the only woman who's part of the Plastic Cup Boys. That is just Pam. Now, when you say you had a regular job first before you decided to go and... What's the regular job?
Yeah, I still have a regular job.
Okay, no, and people need to know that.
I do.
Right? They might think Pam posting all these flyers and having all these shows and hanging out with Kevin Hart and Naeem Lynn and Donnell Rawlings. But you still have a regular job.
I still have a regular job. Yes.
Okay.
I am right now I'm a customer service manager at a payroll company.
Okay.
So I deal with payroll. Like, I got a serious job.
It's a real job. You can't
I got a job.
Money.
So that's what I do. And I've been in like retail management for like forever. So that's always what I did. So it was hard to get into comedy because I was always working like 1 to 11 or, you know, those weird time frames. So I could never even really find time to do shows. So when my parents died, that was like the breaking point for me. Both of my parents passed away during COVID. My mom and dad passed away like a month apart.
Wow, that's tough.
And during that whole time frame, I was already into comedy. My mother was like my biggest fan. Like, she pushed and pushed me and was like so excited. Like, if she knew I was here right now, she would be outside with like a Just Pam poster in the hallway. I promise you.
We need that.
She is like that person. So when they passed away, there was like so much going on at the same time. I remember being I forgot what city we were in. We were with the Plastic Cup Boys somewhere. And I was like on Zoom with my mom, like in her like literally final stage. And as I'm hanging up the phone, and they're like, coming to the stage, Just Pam.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, and I ended up having like one of my greatest performances on stage. And everybody was like, how? To this day, I still don't know how I was able to pull that out. But through that whole period, I never canceled a performance. I never, you know, I think the day of my father's funeral, I had a show that night. It was I had to keep going. You know, it was like I had to keep going, kind of to keep from mourning. And that was like my relief. That was my outlet.
Did you ever take the time to grieve and take a break?
No.
You feel like that is your process? Like, it's the therapy of getting on the stage, making people laugh.
Yes. And people who like meet me and they know, they were like, Pam, we would have never known. We would have never known like all the things that you were going through during that time. And I'm like, it wasn't for you to know.
Right.
You know, it was for me to do my job as a comedian and make you laugh, and for you to see this side of me and to, you know, be able to receive the energy that I wanted you to receive. And that's what I did. But it was hard. Boy, that was hard. But I feel like now my mom is like guiding my ship. It's so weird. You know, it's everything that I say kind of comes to pass. You know, I was like, you know, I want to meet Angela Yee. I remember saying that. I did. I promise you. I said, I want to meet
Naeem hit me up
Angela
about
Yee.
you, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, Naeem.
I was like, I want to meet Angela Yee. You know, I want to do this. And everything that I said I wanted to do happen.
That's amazing.
Yep. So I just keep speaking that positivity into existence because it's happening.
All right, it is Mastery of Comedy, and Just Pam is here with us. We have some more with her when we come back on Way Up with Angela Yee.
We're about to do this. Yeah.
Yo.
More Way Up with Angela Yee on now.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and we are talking to my girl, Just Pam. She's a comedian. I actually know her from that world. She's part of the Plastic Cup Boys. My boy, Naeem Lynn, hit me up to introduce me to her and to have her on, and I've followed her career ever since. So now, Pam, somebody had told me one time that you should set a quit number for yourself. Mm-hmm. When you get to a certain number, it's time to quit your job and go full-time into your passion.
What's that number? I don't know what that number is. I tried it for like a year.
Okay.
The year my parents died, I took a year off, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go full speed ahead into comedy, and I'm gonna quit my job, and I'm not. Yeah. And then I went back.
You went to go back
next
to it.
year. I was like, you know what? I thought about it. You know.
What are some of the hardest things about this as a career, though, for people who don't know?
The hardest thing is, it's not even about being funny. It's really more so about trying to get noticed. It's about trying to get somebody to see something in you that nobody else can see. Everybody was like, oh, she reminds me of a young Monique. Oh, she reminds me of a this. And then you see my set and be like, I've never seen anybody like her, you know, and I think we could do this with her, you know. So the hardest thing right now for me is like trying to find an agent that's gonna benefit me.
Okay.
You know, and to represent me the way I want to be represented. You know, I don't want to be represented as, yep, she just the big girl comic, and she just gonna come out here and
You're
tell
not the big girl
jokes all day.
You're not the big girl, Just Pam.
But that's how they want to represent me. They want to brand me as that, and I don't mind it because that's what I represent. But I want you to see past that. I don't want you to only see that when you see me. I want you to be like, forget the female, forget the black, forget the big girl. This woman was funny. That's it.
Because funny is universal.
Yes.
But certain people relate to different jokes differently.
Right.
So when you go into these different rooms, depending on the audience, do you tailor your material?
My set kind of works wherever.
Okay.
And traveling with the Plastic Cup Boys taught me that.
Mm-hmm.
They always say you want to have a set that's universal, you know, because at first I was tailoring my material. And I'm like, oh, Lord, it's all white people in here, you know? So I'm like, hello, everyone. You know?
I am Just Pam.
I'm Pamela, you know. And then I found that when I was doing that, my material wasn't hitting the way it was hitting. Mm-hmm. And they was like, just be you.
Right.
And my mom said that. She said, just be you. Give them you, and they will love you. I have certain jokes that I know I'm going to do this joke in here because this is a Hispanic joke and everybody in here is Hispanic. They're going to love this joke. Okay. I might do that, but I won't tailor it anymore.
Well, Just Pam, let everybody know how they can find you and also keep up with you, go to the shows, watch the sketches, all of that.
Yes. You can find me on social media, on Instagram at @Iam_Just Pam. I have shows and stuff posted. I have a show coming up on March 23rd. It's in Jersey. So if y'all in Jersey...
Hometown, baby.
Yes. So if y'all in Jersey and you don't follow me on Instagram because I'm going to be giving away 3 sets of tickets to this show. So that's 6 tickets that I'm going to give away. DM me and just say, Way Up with Yee in your comments so that I know. And I'm going to pick 3 sets of people to come to the show.
And that's a good date. Now, I always feel like the comedy club is, even though lately I've seen some viral moments of people breaking up at the comedy club. But other than that, it's a great date night if your relationship is strong.
Yes. So I'll be there. Jonathan Martin is going to be performing. Comedian CJ Cracks. My partner, comedian Eli Rich is going to be there. And a lot of other comics. So shout out to comedian Eli Rich too.
Eli Rich.
That's my backbone right there.
I love it.
So definitely make sure y'all hit me up. Again, @Iam_Just Pam. Hit that follow button and
let's go to Jersey.
Let's get it. You won't be sorry.
All right, Just Pam, thank you so much. This is Mastery of Comedy on Way Up with Angela Yee. And when we come back, we have Ask Yee. 800-292-5150 is the number. Get your questions on the air. Everybody will be weighing in. But in particular, I'll be giving you some of my expert advice. And so will Jasmine on Way Up with Angela Yee.
You should know. This is Ask Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here with me, and it's time for Ask Yee. 800-292-5150 is the number for you guys to call up whenever you have a question so we can help you out. Right now we have an anonymous caller on the line. Hello.
Hey, how you doing? So I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my lady been together for about 6 years now. We got a beautiful son together, but we got two completely different sex drives. We've had the conversation 1,000 times, but nothing's ever changed.
So who has the higher sex drive and who has the lower one?
I got the higher one. She has the lower one.
And was it always like this?
It's been like this for a while, but I never really noticed it because she checked off like 99% of my boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And we was always busy, so we end up going to sleep, whatever. But then when it got to the nitty-gritty, she never in a mood, or she'd just fall asleep, or it just never really happens like it needs to.
Right.
When you talk to her about it, what are the reasons why she doesn't want to have sex?
Was it before the baby also, or after did you notice it more?
After a lot. And I understand that her body's changed and everything, but...
The main thing I feel like is this, because bodies are very complex. Mm-hmm. Sexual desire is very complex. I'm sure, like you said, she checks off 99% of the boxes.
That's a lot of boxes.
Yeah, that's a lot. And...
Now she's perfect.
Yeah, and it's a physical thing. And, you know, they say after a woman gives birth, a lot of mothers experience a sharp drop in estrogen. And so sometimes that decreases it. Is she on any type of medication?
No.
I have a 1.5-year-old, and I feel like my sex drive is not the same. And I feel like all women don't have this experience, but I have this experience. So it could have something to do with her having a child, you all being busy, emotionally, you know, needing to connect with you. It could be a series of things, but for sure, not for sure, but it's likely that it has something to do with her body still, you know, changing and trying to adjust from having a child. I think that it might be worth considering doing some type of therapy or counseling or something if it's that important to you. Because, I mean, obviously she checks out all these boxes for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's not like a deal breaker, but it was low before the baby.
Okay,
right.
So lower.
And she said she's always had a low sex drive.
Yeah.
But I do feel like if it's something that she's concerned about as well, and like Jasmine said, therapy, sometimes there's things in people's past also that causes some type of blockages. For them in relationships. I don't know if she's had any experiences that maybe she doesn't talk about, you know, that might do that.
I've tried to get that answer out of her as well, but she always say nothing's ever happened, and I'm not going to press the issue. You know?
Right.
Yeah. But maybe she needs to talk to somebody
herself.
without you. Without you. And then it also could be, has she gone to the doctor to see if there's anything like physically, you know, that could be an issue?
I mean, from last time we've been together, she healthy, so there's nothing that I know of.
Yeah.
Right, because, you know, I just feel like this might be something because, like you said, she checks out 99% of the boxes. Your relationship is great. Otherwise, it was low before the baby. He said it's a little lower after the baby. It could be, I mean, sometimes people really do just have different sex drives. Do you guys do a lot of foreplay? Because you could not have sex, but you can do a lot of cuddling and kissing and stuff and being intimate without having sex.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. We do all of that, and sometimes it happens, but sometimes it doesn't. So.
Okay.
All right, well, at least you guys are still having sex.
Yeah.
Just not as much as he would like.
Well, you might have to get real familiar with your hand.
Hey, listen, I'm good on that. Man. I'm too grown for all that.
He's too grown for all that. Okay.
No, first of all, now, sir, there is nothing wrong with that.
I'm not saying it is, but it don't hit the same. You know what I'm saying? It don't do it for me.
I feel like his ask you question is an issue that a lot of men have. I always feel like men are always like their sex drive is higher than their wife, their girlfriend, the woman that they deal with. I feel like this is a reoccurring theme.
No, but I'm glad that you guys are having sex and that you guys are intimate and that y'all love each other so much. Like you said, it's only 1% of the problem. I understand that you would like to have sex with your wife more, but don't be afraid of using your hand a little. Even if you guys are in bed and being intimate or whatever, I think it's fine. Like, you know, that way everyone's happy. I understand that it doesn't hit the same, but then you can go to sleep too with her. Come back in relaxed.
Thanks for sharing.
I appreciate y'all.
All right. And, you know, like I said, if there's things that she feels like she wants to talk about with somebody, you should encourage that.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with her.
Yeah, I don't think nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I definitely tell her to try to talk to somebody, whatever trauma she got, but she hard-headed. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, you know, so I understand. But you sound like a great understanding person.
Almost definitely. I try to be.
All right. Well, thank you for calling and trusting us with your Ask Ye question.
Yeah.
All right. And we would love to hear from you guys. 800-292-5150 is the number. If you ever have any Ask Ye questions, we are here to help. You can also leave a message just in case you can't get through. And that's what we have next, the last word. That's where y'all get to call in, leave your messages, and have the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. Jasmine Brand is here.
I'm here.
You hear this little closing song? Now, I'm going to give you guys a little story behind this song because everything on this show, before we started a little over a month ago, was carefully curated.
Yes.
From the Plies intro that he did.
Okay.
To this song, this is actually our friend Jack Nasty. He's from Turks and Caicos.
Jack Nasty.
He's a soca artist, and he has this song. It's called Closer.
Yes.
And we like it so much, and I thought it was a nice little vibe to end the show on.
It's a perfect sort of like chill situation to just, continue your day.
Yeah, it's a nice little Yes, I'm gonna post a link to the real song because it's actually a good song.
Neither one of us can sing, Angela.
I know. I just tried it. But I was also just looking up and doing a deep dive into tapeworms.
Deep dive?
Yeah.
Okay, Angela, why did you look up tapeworms? Oh, okay, there's judgment here. Go ahead.
Well, because you eat a lot and you're always hungry, and I'm trying to see if you have a tapeworm because you also don't gain any weight.
Well, I don't gain.
And sometimes tapeworms do go away on their own.
Angela, I would like to say that I was thinking about it because I don't gain a lot of weight. And first of all, I think it's genetics.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing. It's genetics. But also, you know what? I don't really eat a lot of sugar. Like, you go ham with candy. Like, you like sweet things. You like candy. You like cookies. You like all that kind of stuff.
What is that noise?
That's you eating cookies.
Sounds like there's a tapeworm in you.
Yeah, and also I'm a nice person, and you burn more calories when you're a nice person.
Tapeworms look nasty.
Angela.
All right.
Nobody wants to hear about that.
Yeah. But I want to thank everybody for listening today. Thank you to Just Pam for coming by. You can see that full interview on our YouTube page.
I love her story. I love her story, yeah.
The fact that she was working and even through the deaths of her parents that is a whole nother level of strength.
It is. And can I just say, this kind of reminds us to be thankful just in general, just for everything. We are super blessed. And her story kind of reminded us of how, sometimes we take life for granted and we can't. And we should appreciate our loved ones when they're with us.
Well, make sure you follow I Am Just Pam. That's my girl. Also, earlier today, we were talking... Whoa! Bishop Lamar Whitehead.
Woo! That's a pivot. Go ahead.
Called in, and he's going to be joining us tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
To talk about a lot of things that have happened. And he was the bishop that got robbed while he was streaming live. And
yes.
They stole what he says is $1 million worth of jewelry. So we'll be talking about these new charges against him and see what he has to say.
Okay.
And we also discussed, this is why I actually love having my own show, 90 Day Fiancé.
Because you get to just talk about stuff that you watch.
Yes. And we were discussing one couple on there, Nicole and Mahmoud, and she moved to Egypt to be with him. And a lot of y'all were weighing in on whether you would move across the country, to be with somebody that you love. And I know a lot of y'all call for the last word to talk about that. 800-292-5150. Last word.
Hi, this is Naya, and I was calling to shout out my husband. His name is David Quinn, and I just wanted to thank him for being such a great, loving, caring husband, father, dad, brother, provider, just all over.
I just want to shine a light on my mom, Dr. Tamia Bethia Williams, for always pushing me and always shining a light on everybody that she just encounters with. And I want to shine a light on my school and my students at Long Island Beauty School. My name is Miss Cologne. Follow me at Teacher of Nails. Thank you.
I would move for the love of my life. I would try it because it's always good to open yourself up to experiences. And the worst that can happen is that you don't like it. And you can always come back home, or if that is the love of your life, you guys will meet in the middle somewhere.
I ain't leaving for nobody but you, Angela. So where we going, baby?
Hey, how you doing? This Jamal. A lot of people are complaining about changing for a relationship, but they won't have a problem making those same changes for their dream job. So if you meet the love of your life, what's the difference?
Going way up, turn up. With Angela Yee. 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 With